A very good evening and welcome to yet another edition of the YES101's Visual Radio. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Jed Abdin. We start off with a look at your headlines.
Newsfirst headline.
And in headlines, SLPP to field candidate for upcoming presidential election. Injunction on Vijay Dasa Dushmanta extended. CPS slams the disregarding of the constitution. In international news, thousands hit by flooding in North Korea. And in sports, US figure skating team to receive Beijing gold medal on the 7th August. And in your top story this evening, the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna has reached a decision to field a candidate for the upcoming presidential election. The SLPP Politburo convened at party leader former President Mahinda Rajapaksa's official residence in Vijayarama. Speaking to media following the meeting, General Secretary of the SLPP MP Sagara Karyawasam said, the SLPP will field a candidate under the symbol of a flower bud. He said various views were expressed and a majority was in favor of fielding a candidate from the SLPP. He said the SLPP cannot support the president at the upcoming presidential election as the party decided to field a candidate from the party. In addition, he said that if any SLPP member is seen contesting the poll against the party decision, necessary action will also be taken against such members. And also in more local news, the Colombo Additional District Judge Chandima Edirimana extended the injunction orders issued to Dr. Vijayadasa Rajapaksa and MP Sarathi Dushmanta Mitrapala. They were elected as acting chairman and acting general secretary of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. This order, in effect until the 24th of September, prevents them from serving as acting chairman and acting general secretary. The injunction also prevents the implementation or enforcement of decisions made by the acting general secretary and the acting chairman. The defense has been ordered to present objections in the next hearing. This extension comes after reconsideration of the petitions filed by Sri Lanka Freedom Party Treasurer and Minister of State Lasantha Alagiyawanna, National Organizer Duminda Disanayaka and Senior Vice Chairman Mahinda Amaraveera. And also in more local news, the Frontline Socialist Party commented on the President's statement made on the IGP yesterday. Education Secretary of the Frontline Socialist Party, Pubudu Jayagoda, commented on the matter.
මැතිවරණයක් පැවැත්වීම සඳහා අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම රටේ පොලිස්පතිවරයෙක් ඉන්න ඕනේ කියලා එකක් නැහැ.
It is not a mandatory requirement to have an Inspector General of Police in place for the country to conduct an election. In the past, several presidential and general elections have been successfully carried out under an acting Inspector General of Police, even in the absence of a full-fledged Inspector General. However, he raised concerns that without an Inspector General of Police, there may be an increased risk of underworld activities gaining ground. We have already witnessed the increased activity of the underworld with shootings in Atrugiri and so on. Has the current Inspector General taken measures to address these issues? When the President emphasizes the importance of having an Inspector General of Police to combat underworld activities and ensure a smooth presidential election process, it becomes evident even to a layperson that there may be political motivations at play. As we approach the final days of Ranil Wickremesinghe's tenure, it is essential to urge him to step down gracefully without causing unnecessary friction between the judiciary and the executive branch.
අධිකරණය සහ විධායකයා අතර ගැටුමක් හදලා රට අවුල් ජාලයකට පත් කරන්නේ නැතුව බැහැලා යනවා නම් බැහැලා යන්න කියලා තමයි අපි ඉල්ලන්නේ තියෙන්නේ.
And also shifting your attention towards more local news, the Center for Policy Alternatives has expressed serious concern over recent actions by the President and the government in response to the Supreme Court's interim order. The order restrained Deshabandhu Thennakoon from exercising the powers, functions and responsibilities of the office of the Inspector General of Police. The government's reaction, including a formal statement in Parliament by the Prime Minister on the 27th July, explicitly rejecting the interim order, has raised alarm, and the CP expressed concern on whether Sri Lanka is on the brink of a constitutional crisis. CPA urges the President to desist from any or all action that raises that prospect. CPA said that any attempt to subvert elections and the rule of law will have significant implications on governance and democracy and set back Sri Lanka's path towards economic recovery and stability. And up next is international news.
International news.
And in news overseas, according to North Korean state media, more than 5,000 people isolated by flooding in northwest North Korea were rescued in airlifts and other evacuation work supervised by leader Kim Jong-un. Heavy rainfall on Saturday had caused a river on the North Korean-Chinese border to exceed a dangerous level and created a grave crisis, the official Korean Central News Agency confirmed. About 10 military helicopters and navy boats were mobilized for the evacuation efforts in Sinuiju city and Uiju town, where flooding had isolated residents. And up next is your update on sports.
Sports news.
And in sports, the US figure skating team will finally receive their Beijing Olympics team event gold medal on the 7th August in Paris, more than 2 years after Russian teenager Kamila Valieva was found guilty of doping, the International Olympic Committee confirmed. At the Beijing Games, Kamila was found guilty of doping earlier in the season and was banned for 4 years, thus removing the Russian Olympic Committee as winners of the team event. The decision elevated the US to top spot on the podium. And with that, we wrap up this edition of the YES101's Visual Radio. For the Newsfirst team, I've been Shuad Abdin. Good night and take care.